train fire was at 4 a.m. and it had tanks on the train too. But it was all stopped. And what's interesting is several churches just had a big prayer over Orrville. They got together and prayed for the safety of Orrville just a couple days ago. Let's see, I think it was Saturday evening. And I just heard, and I'm going to put this at the beginning of this video because this is an update, that actually somebody turned it in at 4 a.m. this morning. The people of Orrville and Palermo are alert. And the firefighters, we have awesome firefighters around here, this whole county. And they got it put out, it was in the engine. So they got it put out before it got to the tankers. Welcome to Gail's Garden. I want to say Gail's Garden Herbs and More, but how about news and more? Yeah. Well, they tried to set a train they did catch the train on fire, but it went out on its own right where I moved from, through a little tiny town just outside of Orrville. But it happened in an area it was hard to get to. I kind of know what they're talking about. Haven't heard, they sent about 4 o'clock this morning hazmat crews out to try to get to it to see what chemicals it might have been and stuff, but I haven't heard anything on what it is. Thankfully, it went out, and I don't know of any big plumes of smoke or anything yet. I'm being kept informed what they do know from locals. Our locals want to know what to do. He is hungry this morning, waiting for his food, but I wanted to tell y'all what was going on. So you can be alert for your area. People in our area are beginning to catch on and know something's not right because this is happening all over the country. But they don't know what to do. Always seems to be some crazy excuse as to how it got started. They say this one was from the engine exhaust blowing back. I don't know. And how they know it, well, it's interesting. The hazmat crews were having a hard time trying to figure out how to get to it to check to see what chemicals. But yet they already know it. I'm doing this, and it's early in the morning. It happened around 4 o'clock this morning. But anyway, there's always an excuse, but I've never seen it to this extent. And not only trains all over the country and trucks all over the country, but all these chemical factories, and then the nuclear factory that leaked the 400,000 gallons, and then all the food processing plants, and ones you may not have even heard of, like Azure Standard. Somebody burned up their main building, about a year ago? And thankfully they don't have all their eggs in one basket. They have several buildings in different areas. Yeah. And then what is it called? Herb Mountain, that older gentleman that ran that for years, they burned it down too. Now, I didn't hear about it in the news. I just heard about it from, I think it was their channel, his channel. But that had been there for a long time. He gave classes. He had an extensive library and equipment, and it's really sad. And I think there's probably others that I haven't. I just happen to have connections with those two is why I knew about them. And I think there was some stuff about Azure Standard in the news because it's pretty well known. But others, I don't know. Is there any in your area? We need to let each other know what's going on in our areas, because this is really unusual. I've always watched the news since I was a little girl. Of course, it was mainstream. And even back then, they were corrupt, but not as bad as they are now. I started getting mad in 2008 when they were taking out some of the main newscasters and replacing with Obama's people, and I couldn't figure that out. plus other stuff that was going on. But yeah, they are owned by, they're all owned a lot by the same people, and in roundabout ways, you have to know how that all works. So, I don't know. You say, well, why are you doing this? Because my channel's not grown like Doug and Stacy's has and all of that. But it doesn't matter. They've already got me marked. I've caught them reducing my views. I'll see it way up, and next time I look, they've dropped 50 views or something, and they're always dropping my subscriptions. And so it doesn't matter. They've already got me targeted. I'm going to tell you about it, and we all need to be this way. We all need to stand up as Americans. You know, the Patriots during the Revolutionary War, they were looked down upon by the Loyalists because the Loyalists were British citizens and they couldn't figure out why these people were doing what they were doing. And even today, if you look at Canada, they belong to Britain too, unless within the last few years they've got their independence, which I haven't heard about it if they have. But they pretty much, I think, live on their own, but they're still under, you know, under it. But they were doing things we didn't like. We wanted to do things our own way. That's the way Americans are. They like their freedom. Of course, now we've got millions upon millions. I guess it's 2,000 a day coming up. They said it was 1,000, but it's raised that we know of coming over the border. There's other ways they're coming in too. I'm not going to get into that here, but of people that don't have the same mentality as Americans. And if we were to go to their country, we wouldn't have the same mentality as their country. Because each country has their own characteristics, but not America, not much anymore. Yes, we've always been a conglomerate, but it's been people that came in legally, and it's been people that adapted to our way of life. We're excited to. They left their country for a reason. They didn't want to bring their country in here. I mean, they're proud of their heritage and who they are, but not the problems there. And they wanted to become a part of America. That's the way it should be. If you're going to come into America, no problem. Do it the right way. And you may have to wait a few years. We can't have everybody come in all at once. Then your way of life is not, your quality is not going to be as good because you're all coming in at the same time. Just like our quality of life is going downhill so fast now. But there's many reasons for that. You don't want to watch my cat go poop. I wasn't even thinking about what she's doing. And thankfully, she did scratch right where I planted some stuff. Stupid cat. Of course, she don't know. She don't know. As you can tell, I'm a little bit irritated about what's going on. Not the cat. She's just a cat. But I wanted to share with you guys and let me know what you think about it all. And we'll catch you next time. I do want to say too, just about the garden. Yeah, I've got things coming up and it's going well. And I went out and I planted some starts in my garden. And then I found out it's going to snow this week, supposedly. Tomorrow, I guess. We'll see what happens. I'll just have to do, I don't know how my tomatoes and squash are going to do. I've got some other baby tomatoes and stuff inside, but it's just hot and then it's cold and hot and then cold. We usually don't get snow in April. So, anyway, I'll catch y'all next time. I'm be trying to save my garden here. Oh, keep gardening, guys. Keep taking those herbs. Don't give up. I used herbs about 6 this morning. When I was in Kentucky, let me tell you what happened. My right knee had bothered me for about 2 years. It was really hurting. And so what I did was I took oregano oil and I just put it in my hot baths. And the first time I did that, it quit hurting, and it was about a week before it started again, so I did it again. I ended up doing that about 3 times, and it's been, I don't know, about 13 years or something, 14, no, maybe 14 years ago, and I haven't had any problems until now. It started again, so I can't take a hot bath now. Can't even take a shower unless I go somewhere else. So what I did was I heated up some water on the stove, and I put a hot rag and put it on my knee, and then I mixed some neem, special neem oil for your skin, and not the garden neem oil, and with my oregano essential oil, and I put that on my knee and then put the hot cloth back over the top of that and let it soak in a while. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not like soaking in a hot bath for 30 minutes, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I tell you, it worked before, and plants are amazing critters. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys are not critters, but you're plants. But you are amazing. Talking to my plants. Do you talk to your plants? I was watching another video of a guy. Actually, I don't think he lives but a couple hours from here. He lives up in the mountains too, and he was talking to his plants. He lifted up the top and was talking to him as he was watering them, and I thought, oh, a kindred spirit here, somebody else that talks to their plants. Now you all will think I'm crazy for sure, but anyway, I'll let you go for real this time. I hope you all have a great week. Bye now.